For me, I guess it's kind of just like follow whatever be yourself and just follow what you want to do, even if it doesn't make you money, even if it doesn't like get you fame. It's just about doing what you love and enjoying.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode here on the Shield of Hope channel of our podcast, Hope Speaks. Today we're talking to another band and musicians. This one's from Powder Keg Culture, a local band here in Pennsylvania, and it will be followed by a performance then, either in the middle or afterwards, depending on how I edited this. But I want to say again, thank you guys for tuning into all these podcasts and these episodes. It's been great to us, and we appreciate all the support. And if you guys haven't, I know I don't like saying this, but if you guys haven't, make sure you hit the subscribe and like these videos and share these videos, because it is important to us. And it's how we grow the channel and how we make these things happen. And we're going to get bigger and better with everything that we do. And we're going to bring on more special guests. We got a few guests lined up that I'm hoping we make this work. There's some emails, some text messages going back and forth between who I'm trying to get on the show. So I'm not going to leak anything. But here is the episode for Powder Keg Culture. You can check them out, check out their music. I'll put the links in the description below.
How did you guys meet as a band? Like, what got you guys started? The history of the band.
All right, so we actually, I started this back in February, and it was I had a drummer lined up, and it didn't work out. As you can see, we got a new one, and his name is Jake. But I was trying to get my old band back together. It was called The Suckers Nuclear, and Brandon was part of that. And so we ended up, I see if Brandon was doing anything, and he said he wasn't completely free, but he was definitely, he was able to find some time.
Interesting.
So.
Now, Doug, we met through a connection. You know, Steve Machida obviously helped bring me to you, and you've been in Before the Fallen Leaves film, which people will see coming up here next month. The question is, because we have a connection and we like had that middle person to actually connect us, how did you guys connect to each other? Whether it was prior to that band, when you two met, or just even connecting with the newer members?
Well, I met Brandon through probably one of my best friends, Bob Perch. He was in the Suckers Nuclear with us. I mean, that's pretty much, he would probably be our middle
I played in a band with Bob, years ago.
Yeah, so we were both, and now Brandon is in a band that was my first band, which is pretty weird.
Yeah.
Like my first ever band, he's in the same band. So it's kind of weird, but
What's it like being like a new member to a band?
Well, I met these guys before. Like, I knew Bob Perch real well, and Brandon actually played on a record that I put together a few years ago, and so instant connection, absolutely instant connection. We got together. What you said, like 3 times or something like that. Oh, it was perfect.
And yeah, we've been nailing it every time.
Yeah.
Influences. I'm sure each one's different for you, so we can go around the table here and talk. What was your biggest influence? Like, what got you into music? Was there a certain band, a certain, like, a genre even? Like,
Wow. Seeing a Battle of the Bands in high school, I was really, I was starting to learn bass, and I saw a Battle of the Bands, and a few of the bands did really well, and I thought that looks like a lot of fun. And I stuck with bass after that.
How about you?
Well, I grew up in a music family. My dad, multi instrumentalist. My brother and I just kind of got into it over years, and it's been pretty much doing that ever since. I got involved in not only broadcasting but also playing with a band. We got to go over across the country and up and down the East Coast, made a ton of records, and it's been a blast. But yeah, just kind of I guess basically that's it. Been around it all my whole life, you know, so it kind of seemed natural to start playing, and that's the rest is history.
I mean, as far as like bands go, I guess that's like what I think of when I think of influences. To me, I always think of like all in the Descendants and the Clash, and I don't know if I said the Replacements, but the Replacements too. So I don't know. Those are my favorite bands. So I mean, I love music, so I've been doing it for a long time.
Now you mentioned about music's been in your family for quite a while. Was it the same for both of you, or were you like a first generation, or like?
No, my dad played drums in a band, and my mom was a singer. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
My family has no musical talent whatsoever. I had to really work on being okay.
So then this question is for you. What's it like being like breaking the norm of like a family? Because I don't know, for you two, maybe you guys can jump in here. Is it like almost expected to be musical when you're the rest of your family?
Actually, it was not. It just sort of naturally happened. I think that's the best way you can do it. I mean, actually, even when you put together a band or join a band, it's just got to be an organic process, really. If you try to jam it down somebody's throat, they say, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
I agree with that, Jake. That's pretty good insight.
I wasn't expected to play. I just kind of picked it up. Didn't have much to do when I was younger, so played some bass.
Nice. My parents didn't really care for me learning to play guitar. They thought it would be too loud and annoying, and they think it could lead to other bad things. But I'm fine, so I haven't done anything.
What genre do you guys consider yourselves? Is there a certain music genre you guys consider yourself with your band, or is
You
it
kind of
is it
summed it up
mixture?
pretty good, like punk, power, pop,
Yeah,
a little bit of different kind of mixture, sort of.
Yeah, like power pop with a punk influence type thing. Yeah, I guess. Something like that.
Is there any bands do you look at a band like whether it's just new or old, like as collectively I'm talking about between all of you, and say, man, with this song we would like to express it like another band does? Like, do you look at beats? Do you look at like how other people perform and be like, man, if we could model this song? Because I know in the film industry, specifically, like when I do my films, there's different directors like Steven Spielberg or George Lucas, and I take away like their editing styles and their visual styles. Is there anything like stylistically you guys try to do with your band?
I don't tend to like try to write like anybody, but influences do like seep through. I would say, like, I think, like, I am definitely into the Descendants like a lot, so that's probably like the band that probably seeps through the most. But I don't intentionally ever like try to copy anything. But I mean, I don't think we are people that like try to intentionally copy anything.
No. Yeah, like you said, I mean, you have the influences, but I mean, you can take maybe an element about another artist or whatever, but you kind of put your own personality into it, so it becomes something new. But yeah, certainly you have your influences as far as that goes.
The process of writing and performing and recording songs, can you take us through like the process? Because as somebody that doesn't know anything about music and like what it's like to put everything together, you guys have your own processes just like I have my own in my field. So walk us through what it's like to just like create one song.
Okay, that would, for the recording side, it was definitely, this is him. He is the master of that.
Just set up the mics, get the mic levels, test the sound, and then just record it. Really, I mean, there's different mic technique and all kinds of little things you can drill down on, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Jake, you could probably input a little. You've done some recording and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, a lot of times, like, if you go in the studio, you have, maybe a basic demo of a tune or whatever. I know with one of the groups I've done with, a lot of stuff we did in the studio was literally on the fly. Like, we had a basic structure, and it's like, oh, let's add this, and it ended up being this huge thing, but it wasn't intended that way initially. So once again, an organic process really is, as far as that goes.
So do you all write the songs, or is there a specific writer in your group, like for the lyrics, or like?
I think Doug's pretty much the writer at this point.
Well, just
He wrote majority of the
lyrically,
songs,
but
yeah.
I do think that everybody throws their parts. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
just. I think when you're a singer of a band, typically you feel the lyrics more if you write them. But I think like as far as like their parts, they all write their parts. So and do a really good job at it too. I think they're really good. So.
Did you guys decide when well, how many songs do you guys plan on? Because I know I've heard like you guys, or specifically Doug, talk about like getting like an album out there.
There's
Do
about
you-
14 of them now, right?
I'm sure.
We have about 10 of the four. We're planning on doing 14, but we have about 10 of them finished as far as learned.
Because there's certain artists, especially like that I've heard through music interviews, that would specifically talk about, well, there's like, we like to have half the album be like happy, half the album be like sad. Like, is there like a tone you guys like to set with each album? Like, is there like a quota you like to meet for each?
I don't really have I never make a quota of anything. I think a lot of these songs are based upon my divorce. So I think that there's the music kind of is happy, but some of the words aren't, so it's kind of a little bit different than, I guess most of punk rock, I guess. Sometimes they can be happy, sometimes it's political, but I don't know. I guess this band's not really political so far. I mean, but we've been pretty much just writing pop songs, basically, I guess. Yeah.
Having fun.
Yeah.
What's the best advice you guys have received? Could be from a parent, it could be from like anybody. It could be from listening to somebody. Maybe you sat down, maybe listened to a podcast.
Well,
maybe
actually,
listen to a celebrity or something like that. Just
I'm going to quote my grandfather right now, actually. I should take a little bit to pull this up, but
Well, for me, I guess it's kind of just like follow whatever be yourself and just follow what you want to do, even if it doesn't make you money, even if it doesn't like get you fame. It's just about doing what you love and enjoying those moments, because like in a band sometimes you form like brotherhoods and like it can be a really good thing. I've all my really good friends have been from being in bands, and I mean I've been in sports teams, I've been on other things, and there's really not like a connection quite like a bandmate in a lot of ways. So I think that's like I would suggest to any kid that ever wanted to do anything in life, they should try to join a band, because it'll bring out some of the most fun moments of their life. music at all? Like, have you?
I was.
There it is.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So
It saved me from answering.
Okay, yeah. So this actually, I basically go by this. One of the great breakthroughs in life is to know that you really don't know that much. That gives you a little more to learn. It gives you hope that you can always learn more, and it makes you not arrogant. That's something my grandfather wrote actually on the garage door, and I've kind of gone by that for many, many years, basically. So.
I guess I'll answer your question. My sister was the more musical person out of the family. She played the saxophone. She played the piano. When I was young, I kind of got forced into piano lessons. So every now and then, which actually came in handy because when you hear like the keyboard at home is a nice thing for films because at least I can like get like the deeper notes in, like if I need like an underscore, I can do that for my. So I mean, it was really beneficial for that. But I played the violin in 6th and 7th grade. The music teacher actually made me quit basically. So I didn't like that woman.
Holy.
But so what's your favorite song that you guys have recorded?
I think we probably all have different ones, but go ahead.
I would say "Know That Sound" is probably my favorite.
I kind of like them all. I mean, there's a couple favorites that I have. I can't think of. I'm not sure which ones the names are off the top of my head. I like them all though.
I think mine. I have a couple, but I would definitely say, I know that sound is a good one. It's been around a long time for me though, but I do like the way we do it.
Which one's that?
It's one of the newer ones for you.
Okay.
What's that?
Oh yeah, that's a cool one. That is a cool
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Sorry, that's how we have to.
No, it's good.
That's pretty loud. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I think we have a couple other cool ones too. The newest one, but everything that you, it's funny. I think whenever you're a musician or an artist or anything like that, the newest thing is your best thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that to me, it seems like that
Yeah,
always
that's a
feels
good
that
point.
way, like, because you're excited about it. And people that are like just listeners, they don't, or like maybe like watchers of the films, or they'll never truly understand that because they might think your new thing stinks, even if it doesn't to you, because it's different or it's something. But the newest thing always feels like the best thing to you, and you don't maybe know why it's not as, maybe if it's not as good or maybe it's great, and you just, I don't know, it's just one of those things.
Just fresh and exciting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Can write something new.
One of the best advices I ever got for my field of film was down when I went to Du Bois Business College in the John Rosen movie making program. The one instructor always said, it's always good to have a notebook by you. Like always, and he always would carry a notebook on him because if something came up, like it was just a cool idea or like something would flash through his head, he would write it down.
Yep.
How do you do that with music though? Like with rhythms? Like do you guys find yourself like just like out like tapping like or like finding a beat and be like, oh, I gotta write this down or like trying to remember it?
Well,
Like,
actually, I do a combination of things. Actually, I have what's called a Zoom recorder that our operations manager at the station told me to get one, and I'm really glad he did because you have, first of all, a whole lot of memory on it as far as it goes, and you can record very high quality recordings, and it's basically just in this little box with a couple condenser microphones. I mean, you can hook mics up to it, but I take that everywhere. And if I have an idea, like say a piano idea or something like that, and I don't have a recorder, I'll actually call my answering machine, and with the
awesome.
answering machine, and that's actually on this one symphony I'm working on. Actually, there's a part that I did just that. So, but yeah, that's
That's awesome.
whatever day
It's a
takes to art.
strategy.
But I archive a lot. I archive whether bringing, like I said, a little Zoom recorder, tape machine, or calling the answering service, or I archive a lot. So.
I record memos on my phone. I go to the bathroom at work and I sing into it. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
That's
that's awesome.
Has anybody ever walked in on you doing that?
Well, we have one room bathroom, so we're perfectly okay with that because no one will know. But That is I have done that, and then I'll go home and write a song after if I really like it, or I'll save it and then just kind of. But I do tend to anymore. I used to write guitar first to then lyrics, but now I write the opposite. I go melody, and then I try to sort myself out from that and make the guitar part based upon melody. So.
Cool. I use a
Cool.
smartphone, like Doug. I've recorded guitar and like little beatbox things in my phone, and then I've typed lyrics in my phone too occasionally. So
We'll wrap up with this question. For somebody that's listening to this podcast that is finding all these podcasts for motivation, and because people are looking up to you, whether you're big, whether you're small, people are listening and still looking up to you. You can influence just one person sometimes in life or throughout the course of a day. What advice would you give to somebody that wants to start a band, or that wants to even just pick up an instrument and play?
You guys want to start? Or?
Well, for starters, don't ever let anybody tell you can't do something. For starters, just put your heart and soul into it, and you just got to go for it.
That's good advice. Will you?
well, just practice. You can't suck forever.
Yep.
That's how I look at it.
Yep,
If you can't play something, just keep playing.
exactly.
I think be as kind and patient as you can with people, and if you do get some kind of an audience ever, make sure that they feel appreciated too, because when you do have like an audience and they feel like they're friends with you, and they'll appreciate you more for sure. I think that really helps.
Camaraderie.
Yeah, and even if it makes them feel like they're part of it, and it does help.